How are y'all? It's Podcast Thursday. And as we move forward on this Thursday, September the 14th, how are you doing this week? The last couple of weeks I have been on this grieving lesson. And it's been ugly, it's been rude, it's been joyful, it's been releasing the stuff that didn't work. Talked to a woman and her daughter yesterday. They flew in from Alabama. Sarah Jakes is doing a 3-day women's conference, and one of the books that she wrote, Colliding with Destiny, I have read. I'm going to be reading it again because it is so about kind of what I've segued into today to share with you guys. I had someone else that I talked to, and he was like an angel that dropped out of heaven. If he'd had wings and a white robe, I'd have thought, oh my gosh. He looked just like, he was so angelic. He was like an adult cherub. And it was, after I thought about it, I'm going, is he real? But he told me, he said, Fran, you carry a lot of things on your shoulders that you need to release to God. And I'm going, okay, how do I release to God? I think that I do this. Maybe you guys do this too. I think I release it, and you know what? I don't. Some days I don't know how. Some days I don't think enough of myself to be able to do that. And we are all human. And in this grieving process that I'm finding out, I'm grieving about me because my husband didn't do so many things that I absolutely owe him no loyalty. I don't feel bad about that. I do have to be objective in what I bring to the program. I had to get him in the ground, and he's going to be in my life 4 more years because he didn't file taxes. So I have been going through a myriad of emotions, and I want you guys to have the benefit of that because I'm not the only one in the world that's going through stuff. And you have to walk through the fire to get to the top of the mountain. And the top of the mountain is it's like, what in us shines the most? So what I have decided that today is real important about is being in the moment. And, you know, being in the moment is a way to release your past, disconnect from it, and not have to go back because you're going to keep the wisdom. You're going to keep the wisdom, and you're going to build stair steps so you can get on to some other area of success in your life. So how do we be in the moment? Well, we clear the clutter. If you go into a meditation, you get down to a very small, tiny dot where nothing else but you and your divine are there together. When you pray, you get into that little bitty space that allows you to focus and hone in on to what you're asking to be done. And so one thing you want to move away from your past. You want to know what you gained from it. What did I gain from it? And is it a repeating pattern or not? And some of this is going to be repetitive from some of the things I've brought in the past. But you know what? It all builds on it, and it's all part of multiple things. And is this information leading you to grow in personal growth? The next thing you want to do, you want to celebrate these findings, these milestones, and thank the divine, thank God, thank beloved, thank source, whoever you use in this, for the wisdom that you gain from it. If you are putting that wisdom into action, kudos to you. If not, then you're doing the repeating patterns and you got to stop. The really cool part about this is you're going to release the hold. The experience and lessons don't define you. You define you. and you limit you, or you express you in a way to where you've got an abundance that doesn't quit. You know, we can manifest on so many levels, and that springboard into our life's journey, they help us be our best while we live our best life. And so other parts of this process are grieving, which we don't always allow ourselves to do because we look at it as some kind of weakness. You know, grieving is something that we need to do so we can move forward. It's not forgetting what we need to remember. It's letting go of what no longer serves us and making peace with the stuff that happened around those events, which is some of the things that I'm dealing with that were out of my control. And then it's turning over to God the things that we don't need. He tells us to turn things over to Him. And maybe you do it well, maybe you don't. So you've got awareness, you've got acknowledgement, and you've got acceptance. Acceptance does not mean that you don't move forward. Acceptance means in that moment you accept what was. In that moment, you get a light bulb moment. And so, in your personal life journey, you have to decide if the information has its purpose in your existence. What kind of score are you giving it? An A and an F? You know, you feel this journey and you make a discovery of emotions. Journal. The black and white gives clarity and focus. Honor. Give thanks for, doesn't matter how good or bad it was, give thanks for that moment, that experience. Celebrate the lesson. It caused a milestone. Think about it this way. Success celebrations can be in this manner. I use my success to fuel my drive and take steps towards my next goal. You know, if I have gotten past one of the ill feelings that I had, brought on by an event out of my control, to where I can release it from my heart, making space for bigger movement, then I need to celebrate that, because I will tell you why. Acknowledgement of that allows me to know I've done it once, I can do it again. Doesn't matter if it's the same type of thing, but I've done it once, I've done this process once, I recognize it, and I can do it again. I look for a way to share it with people that made it possible. Those have to be people that you trust. Those have to be people that you're honoring. Those have to be people that are going to keep you safe. With a deep, purposeful breath that gives me space for gratitude and energy for what's next. What you're doing, this is creating space. It's helping you move away from the familiar into what you've been asking for, because if what you've been asking for is not anything you've ever experienced it, you have no idea how it's supposed to feel, what it's supposed to look like, how it's going to look like on you. So think about those things as you are being in this moment to move forward with and in your God path in this life walk, this part of this journey that you've been put here to walk. I've been talking to a lot of women lately, and they don't know who they are. And I know you're thinking, well, I know who I am. You don't know anything. Stop and back up and think a minute. What's in your heart? You may or may not acknowledge. You may have been hurt so much you piled it under that dirty pile of clothes that you never ever want to have to look at. We're not talking about confidence. Confidence is a skill that's learned. Skills are learned. Anybody can learn confidence. But we're talking about that gift that you were put here to be. That gift that only you can fulfill. You can stand in those shoes and say, world, here I am. Let's get after it. Let's enjoy it. Let's be that shiny bubble. Somebody, especially me, needs to see and acknowledge that. So think about this in your healing. You get a right to be in the moment. You have a rite, a ritual, something sacred to move past. You allow yourself to acknowledge you, and you allow for closure. Most people don't want to forget bad stuff. Well, you know what? If you don't forget bad stuff, you're still living it, you're not in the moment, and you're still in the past. Tell me how the past is going to support you and serve you in the future or in this very moment. Things have changed. And they've changed by you knowing that, doing an inventory so you can know what was there, what you have to make peace with, what's in your lesson, knowing your strengths, your weaknesses, and how you respond, not react to stuff, recognizing circumstances that bring you this, and making inside a choice. A choice to continue or change the cycle and the steps in that cycle. And it's a hard thing to do. I don't care how much you don't like it. Familiarity takes the cake. Are you willing to give up the cake to have the whole dessert tray? So you got to choose to forgive, and you got to appreciate your blessings. So you think about this, you're letting go of the past and know what no longer serves you, because the past doesn't live here anymore. Can you go back there and change something to make this different? If you figure it out, please let me know. The past is just the past. The past is going to hold you back if you stay there. Don't punish yourself, and don't punish those who have hurt you. That's bad juju, bad karma. Because if you do that, you're going to be punishing yourself. And that, I don't think that's your goal. You're creating anew what you want, you desire, what you deserve. You're not going to live in self-imposed limitations. You're going to live that life that the divine has promised you. And if you don't know what that means, drop me a message. We will figure it out together. So strategies to be in the now are express your pain. What payoff do you get by how the past feeds you and moving past the past? Get support. Focus on what you can control. Create interruptions. So when you get on that oh my God, it's a big magnet and it's pulling me to it. What can you do to stop that? Stop that right in that spot. Surround yourself by positive people. Work your forgiveness. Build a future through step-by-steps to accomplish the goals where you're moving toward. Do the work. Be gentle with yourself. There's a whole lot of things on this. But the main thing that I wanted to talk to you about is be in the moment. You're not given anything but this moment. And if you refuse to put yourself in the moment and be there on purpose, you're missing your life. And to work the grieving that I worked, I have to forgive myself. I have to acknowledge my part in all this. I have to acknowledge how much I want what I desire. And I have to acknowledge how I've contributed to holding myself back. Y'all, it's an amazing world out here. Drop me a message. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if any of these are helping you. And it's guiding us into a great tomorrow. Y'all have a good one. I'll see you next time.